Now, I heard you mention civil engineer, electrical engineering. I didn't ask both of you, which was, in the beginning, to tell me something about what kind of engineering that you're involved in. What kind of engineer are you? And a little background in terms of your experience and your qualification as an engineer.
Well, if I can go first, I suppose being the young kid on the block. My engineering experience spanned over 30 years. I was qualified in Canada, and I've worked extensively across the United States. As a matter of fact, I worked in 3 continents, on projects, on assignments, and I've gained a lot of experience in North America. I haven't really worked in any large projects here as engineering, doing my own consultancy, and also I have business management with me also. At the moment, I'm currently more or less involved in the management aspect, in doing business plans, proposal, and so forth, research and that kind of stuff. But in the sense that I've worked, as I said, across Canada. I was also very much involved in the petroleum, oil and gas exploration out in Alberta, Canada. And I've been on assignment in South Africa, in Germany, in the UK, and all across the United States over the years. I believe that the engineering industry is very vast, and it provides an opportunity for building a nation. It's very important for us to really, as we spoke earlier, to have teeth and to be able to at least sit around the table, collaborate. I think the key thing, and that really highlighted in our objective, to collaboration. Because in everything in life, especially in these days, we must collaborate. So my background have given me, fortunately, and we got to be thankful, give me that vast experience, which I think is useful, and I'm here now to try to impart it and share it and work with anyone who is interested positively to go forward.
Mr. Guyo.
Well, first of all, I'm an electrical engineer, and I saw Miss Rochester the other day, and I told her thanks, because if it wasn't for persons like Miss Rochester, Miss Whitaker, and Miss Ruth Harris at SKNAPE, I would have not been an engineer today. They basically hijacked me, put me on a plane, and sent me to Cuba. So I would like to say thanks again. I've always been telling them thanks. I'm glad for this opportunity to tell them thanks once more. I'm an electrical engineer. I did my studies in Cuba. I was working with SKNAPE a few years before I went off to study, and during my studies I would always come back and work for SKNAPE. And after I was finished studying, I worked for SKNAPE for about 5 years before starting my own small business. At this point in time, I provide employment for about 5 persons, which includes another engineer who works with me in my small business. And we, at this point in time, as I explained earlier, in the private sector there isn't much room for engineering, so basically we do electrical work, so you won't be able to survive from engineering here in St. Kitts. So that's it basically. I'm an electrical engineer, and we do a lot of different types of electrical installation, and that's very small amount of consultancy.
So a lot of the work that you do is more work as an electrician. Is that what you're saying?
Almost.
But really and truly, being an electrician and being an electrical engineer are 2 different things.
Completely different. We are able to calculate more risk, calculate more parameters, be more precise. Like, for instance, what a lot of people don't know is even the regular transformer that you install in your house, if it's not sized correctly, you could have everything turned off, but at the end of the month you still get a big electrical bill depending on the size of the transformer that you have installed. And most times, I'm not saying because I know electricians who would actually do the calculations, but most times an electrician would not calculate your demand to set the size of your transformer accurately. And so persons would have 20 kVA transformer installed in the house, and that alone would give you a good enough bill by itself, and it would multiply more when you add more appliances and equipment to that transformer. So an engineer now would calculate most of them stuff. An engineer would do an electrical fire hazard assessment and say, look, you need to change that, otherwise it burn, or you need to set these type of breakers. Do protection coordination, making sure the breakers in your panels are set correctly so that if there's a fault, it would trip, because most house fires initiates because the breakers in your panel don't trip under faulty conditions. So an engineer would do most of that calculation for you and make sure at the end of the day the installation is done correctly. Both of us will get it done, but done correctly and efficiently, you will get that from an engineer.
So you are saying that an engineer is an electrician with more training
And a piece of paper.
on a piece of paper.
Yes, yes. But they are very, very good electricians in St. Kitts.
Yes.
I could call 100 of them.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Mr. James, you said you were an industrial engineer.
That's correct.
What does that mean?
Well, industrial engineering is referred to us as being the heartbeat of engineering, in the sense that almost every project you do need an industrial engineer from a professional standpoint. Because industrial engineering really network with all disciplines, all departments. But specifically, we are specialized in manufacturing, industrial machinery, setting up plants, and so forth.
Right.
The reason why I say that we're the heartbeat, because we do everything from man-hours calculation to productivity, to setting up your plants, allocating the machinery, and also we also very much I would say one of the most important things is the procurement for the respective plant or machinery or industry what you want to get into. So with that in mind, I believe we can expand it and give you a whole comprehensive background as to how the industrial engineering is such a vast particular engineering discipline. And with that, I also had the petroleum aspect of it, which I sort of specialized in subsequent to that.
Okay.
Because I was in the province of Alberta in Canada. I also must add that I had the opportunity to work in different disciplines in Canada, from municipal to provincial to federal. You know, I was also part of the frigate, the Canadian frigate project that was established back in the 80s, and we worked specifically on the NASA specs. And I always like to highlight that as one of my most experienced, because it's a totally different concept with all the you can say security clearance requirements that's needed.